Leslie, Granger's on a half-forward flank. I just wonder how long those players will be in those positions. Kernahan with a quick kick. Phillips, left footer. Maynard will take it comfortably on his chest. Aegis coming in. For Pleasure started on a half-forward flank. Johnny Cale's made about 9 changes to the side that got the stick from Nord last week. Giles, Johnston with a floater. Huppert's in the front spot against Barrett. Aegis. Will it sit for Huppert's? It will. Left foot snap will miss. It'll go out of bounds on the full, and Tim Evans was on his lonesome. He only had to keep it down, and Evans was in.
But Keith Corbin will take the relieving kick from the full-back line. Evans paying no attention to him whatsoever. And they're playing the big fellow on Tim Evans, obviously looking for that extra height. Tony McGuinness receives the ball, kicks it to centre wing. Weston in front, spoiled away from him. Bradley can't take it. Coming in for Glenelg is, Maynard. Maynard to half forward, Carey in front. Sewer, Carey, Holst. Holst into the space in front of Farquhar, giving him a run at the ball. Magnificent take. He's got his teammate down there, and Michael Lunnis. Lunnis has marked the ball. Not a good kick by Michael Farquhar. It was on the wrong side of Michael Lunnis. If he'd have kicked it more to the goal square and just sat it in there, it would have been a simple goal. As it is now, he would only have about a metre to look at.
Kick 7 last week from 10 kicks. Drop punt by Lunnis has gone straight through. Splendid start for the Bays. Lunnis gets his first, and Glenelg a goal in front after a minute and a half.
Yes, Peter Carey getting hold of that ball at centre half forward and just whiffing it over the top, enabling the team then to run in through David Holst. Holst out in front of Farquhar. Farquhar in possession and went to kick the ball. Just placed it quietly into the goal square, or tried to place it into the goal square. It came off the edge of his boot slightly, and it was taken by Lunnis about 30 metres.
Kernahan and Johnston opposed to one another. Neither player winning it. Off the ground by McGuinness. Robertson, who's playing on the wing. Aegis in the front spot, in front of Frost, and he takes the mark. Ross Aegis, who's only played 6 league games this year. Drop punt to the goal square. Coleman against Evans. One-hander almost by Coleman. Gives away a behind. Port Adelaide get there first. Rushed. So they're a point. The Bays are a goal. Remember that Keith Coleman kept Tim Evans scoreless the last time he played on him in the night final. A boomer by Coleman. Kernahan. Marshall played his 100th last week. Was caught. Bradley. Belton. Drop punt. It's going to go close. It's going to go through. Belton's got his first, and the Magpies are in front. 1-1 to a goal. Port Adelaide leading after 3 minutes.
Well, Paul Belton certainly played that well, just making position to receive, which he does with great decision. He just snooked into that half-forward line and then took possession of the ball. He kicked it just off a couple of paces, Bruce. He didn't bother to run in too far, just settled the kick into the air and just let it carry with that slight breeze. I think that the wind has changed since the start of the reserves game, when we saw it coming slightly from the northwest, at the moment coming in from the southwest, and that ball just carrying through for full points to Port Adelaide, a much-needed goal.
Johnston and Kernahan. Granger virtually playing between half-forward and the pocket at the moment, right out of the road. Johnston won it clearly to Belton.
That's a great take.
Long kick to the pocket. Huppert's McFarlane. Huppert's plays it in front of himself, and it'll be a ball in.
1-1 Port Adelaide. Glenelg, 1 goal. Out of bounds, about 10 metres around from the right-hand behind post. Port Adelaide attacking to the northern end. Number 30 for Port Adelaide there, going for that with Ben Harris. Ball coming across the face of goal. Keith Coolman making a return this afternoon. Played centre-half forward for the Glenelg reserves last week. For part of the game. Kicks it to David Holst. Holst standing even. Half forward, Carey. Too tall and big for Phillips. An unusual thing to say. Weston with a long handball to Sewer. Sewer to McGuinness along the ground. And the free kick there will be played to number 23 for Port Adelaide, who is Tony Giles. Giles feints a handball and then kicks to centre wing.
Robertson the front spot, Kernahan the fly with Ebert, and Kernahan takes the mark. Plays it to Marshall. Left foot. Weston should take it comfortably. No, it was too far for him. I misread it. Painter took it in front of Eckerman. Left foot by Painter. He's got Farquhar on a lead. Gee, Weston's made some territory. Farquhar deep in the pocket. Left foot, another very poor kick by Farquhar around the body. And Port Adelaide will bring it back in. So the changes for Port. Cunningham out. Also Leslie. Coming into the side, Craig Ebert on the interchange bench. Robertson's gone to a wing. Granger to a half-forward flank. Harvey to the back pocket. Bradley's about to kick the ball in. Screw punt. Johnston and Kernahan. Johnston laid it onto Phillips. To Johnston. To Eckerman. Eckerman through the centre. Evans on a lead with Corman. Almost a one-hander again by Corman. Paul Pleasure got rid of it in a hurry. Corns to Maynard. Maynard to Marshall. It sits for him. Will he take Robertson on? Robertson played that nicely. Marshall to Corns. Drop punt spot on. Weston will take it clearly.
All Weston at half forward. Craig Bradley standing his mark. Attacks the goal square. Carey just moved in the back, fell over. This fella turns around, and this one is an important goal for Glenelg early in this game. Another straight kick would have been handy. Panicked a little bit. Ball flying over the top of the pack. Danny Hughes will kick the ball in for Port Adelaide.
Bradley roving, I think, Robert. Hughes with a long one. Kernahan. Great mark against Johnston. Kernahan started well. Drop punt. Farquhar on a lead against Hughes. Got his fingers to it. Hoffner. Got 5 metres on McDermott. High kick. Kinnear gets under it and he takes a fine mark. So Duthie's playing on the centre wing. Replaced Hine. Bradley. Went to go the handball. Then pops it up in the air. Harrison Corns. Corns with a thump away. Belton started well. Dropped it. Corns. Belton again. Through his legs. Cleverly done. Pleasure went without it. Maynard. And it'll be a ball up on the half-forward flank for Port Adelaide. They're attacking. Scores a level. 1-1 apiece.
Giles for Port Adelaide. Going for this knock. Kernahan for Glenelg. Giles is hitting it forward. Belton fumbles the take, then tries to knock it on. Cross-finally hits it to Granger. Ball kicked in by Paul Pleasure. Pulled out of the road and kicks a goal. Tim Evans' first goal. Port Adelaide second. They're 2-1, leading Glenelg rather, 1 goal 1. Tim Evans bodying Keith Coolman out of the road then. I've seen the incidences of that happening to Tim Evans and he gets the free kick. Probably showing some degree of bias, but it's good to see that body play allowed to go on. I think that when players are competing for the ball and the ball's coming in, there's nothing wrong with a good hip and shoulder bump, and to make the assessment of whether the ball's within 5 metres or not is rather irrelevant in many respects. The ability of the players to compete and make position for the ball obviously is a very important part of their game, and as long as they're doing it with the hip and shoulder, then I'm sure the game won't suffer in any way. We seem to have lost the ball just at the moment.
111 goals for the season for Evans, and in this magnificent career that he's had for Port Adelaide, he's kicked 722 goals. It's a tremendous performance. He's played 179 league games, so he's been averaging about 3.5 to 4 goals every time he puts the boots on for the Magpies.
Centre bounce, 2-1 Port Adelaide, 1-1 Glenelg. Kernahan and Johnston. Kernahan gets the knock on that occasion. Sewer running after the ball. It's a free kick. Pushed in the back. He plays on immediately. Fakes 2 handballs. Trying to get onto his left foot. Carey in front. Spoiled forward by Phillips quite correctly. Can't interfere from behind when doing the spoil. He's not happy. Carey will take the free kick. It's going to be a bit of a problem for Greg Phillips because of his height, obviously. Strong man, Phillips, as we all know. But Carey's probably a bit bigger. Wouldn't be any stronger. Weston. In his distance.
Greg Phillips very emotional there, Robert. I haven't seen him do that before. No, he's very upset with that decision. Weston, a goal-kicking follower. Usually a very good kick. That's no exception. That's straight through. Can the captain kick them? That's his first. 2-1 to 2-1. Scores a level. Weston 1 goal from the Bays 2.
It's not a good sign for that Greg Phillips gets that emotional. He's obviously very keyed up about the game. He didn't have a big game last week for Port Adelaide.
Didn't get a kick to half-time.
Peter Carey obviously going to present him with a few problems because of his height at centre-half forward.
Kernahan and Johnston. Scores level. Johnston won it only as far as Weston. Weston started well. Holst, loose kick. Lunnis in front of Harvey. Harvey stopped the ball in its tracks. Left foot by Phillips. High. Kernahan underneath it. Johnston came in at the last moment and did it beautifully. Harris has got a metre on Corns. Corns gets there with him. Harris kept his balance. Propped it over the top. Granger went without it. Duthie tapped it on. Port Adelaide player in Johnston. Huppets. Granger cleverly to Bradley. Deep in the pocket. Little left foot around the body. Evans and Coleman. Waiting back Belton. Barrett to Coleman. Coleman decided to give away a behind. Port Adelaide 2-2. Coleman's given away both the points. Glenelg 2-1. There's a point the difference.
Keith Coleman to bring the ball back in for Glenelg. Port kicking with the aid of a slight breeze, which is favouring the northern end. Coleman hasn't lost his kick in his week with the reserves. Another terrific mark out there by Stephen Kernahan. Certainly matured a lot this season, a lot stronger player. Kicking out towards McGuinness, intercepted by Kinnear. And he spoils the ball out of bounds. Chris Duthie a little bit upset there with something that Kim Kinnear did to Tony McGuinness after the ball went out of bounds.
Because Kinnear today is playing on a very big player in Duthie. He physically is very strong for a wingman because Kim Kinnear is an aggressive player.
Kernahan knocking the ball towards the attack side. Huppets in possession. Marshall in position to receive. He can't. Corns backing up. Done a couple of very good things, Graham Corns. Some of his handball has been terrific. Holst receiving then from Maynard. Maynard follows up to get it back and kicks it into full forward. A well-judged mark back there by the new player, John Harvey.
To Hoffner, to Phillips, and the acting captain with a drop punt. Lace out, hits Johnston on the chest. Ran himself into some trouble. Left foot by Phillips. Harris, Corns and Frost. Harris might get a free kick. Corns got away with it. She's playing well, Cornsy. To McDermott, a floater, and Phillips takes a great mark. They're hard to judge.
He put himself in front on that occasion, didn't come from behind. Hughes running on to receive. Blast the ball forward, no control of the kick whatsoever off McFarlane's arm to McDermott. McDermott going wide to the space on the outer side that just runs out of bounds ahead of Kim Kinnear. There'll be a throw in 13 minutes into the first quarter. Port 2-2, Glenelg 2-1.
Johnston and also Kernahan. Carey having a long spell at centre-half forward. Kernahan might have won it. Johnston cleverly. Duthie's handball. Kernahan did well to trap it. It was going very quickly. McGuinness. Duthie again. Kinnear runs straight into the Glenelg player in McDermott, and there'll be a ball up. Scoring hard at the moment to come by. 2-2 to 2-1. Very big crowd. Perfect day for football. Port maybe with a slight breeze. Johnston later back towards Kinnear, and Kinnear will take a free kick. Kimmy Kinnear's had his worst season for 2 or 3 years this season. Hasn't had a big one at all.
Kim Kinnear going towards the Ray Huppets back in the centre of the ground. Chris Bradley. Bradley to full forward. Coleman falls over. Evans marks the ball unopposed. Certainly moved the ball in quickly then. Glenelg Rovers very, very slack on their checking. That free kick was awarded to Kinnear. Glenelg Rovers not getting back to check. Tony McGuinness very loose. Tim Evans. He scored his second goal, the big fellow. Port Adelaide move on to 3 goals now. 3-2, leading Glenelg 2-1.
Just the start Keith Coleman didn't want. Dropped last week because of lack of form. Did some good things when he went to centre-half forward in the reserves, but hasn't had the best of starts with Evans having 2 goals within 14 minutes.
I mentioned Tony McGuinness not checking them, but also we see Peter Maynard playing very loosely across the half-back line, running up to the centre wing, then not able to get back in time when the free kick was awarded. Craig Bradley just moving back onto the half-forward line, loose on his own, created the goal.
3-2 to 2-1, Johnston and Kernahan. Johnston might have just won it. Eva gets his first kick, a high one. To centre half forward, Barrett, Huppets, Frost, Huppets, got rid of it in a hurry. Frost tackled by Aegis in a hurry. Barrett's there with Aegis and also Granger. Corn's playing a great first quarter. Left footer. Kinnear gets under it. It's been paid. No, against Port Adelaide for interference after disposal. Dermott played it on quickly to centre half forward. Carey tapped it on cleverly. Sewer's got the run of it. Sewer keeps it in front of him. Great tackle by Giles. He kept his balance. He ducked. Again, Port Adelaide tackled him through Hoffner. Hughes' handball is good. Phillips to Giles. Giles with a high one. Port Adelaide out of trouble for the moment. To the centre wing. Bradley pushed Maynard in the back and he got away with it. Holding the ball though.
Very good decision there by the umpire. Bradley feeling he was free. Kernahan had his wits about him. Quickly ran back and Bradley should be awarded another 15 metres if he's not careful. Stephen Kernahan from centre wing. A little bit unfortunate, Bradley. Played it well too. To half forward, spoiling from behind Phillips. Number 12 there, I think it's John Harvey on top of the ball. He'll get a free kick. Half back for Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide defence in top form this afternoon. Some of their rebounding been terrific from that area. Off hands to the centre wing and out of bounds on the far side of football park.
3-2-2-1, 16 minutes gone. Great atmosphere here. Johnston and Kernahan. Johnson front spot, Kernahan from the side. For Pleasure. High drop punt. Granger McFarlane. Granger a much bigger person. Left foot by Barrett. Only as far as Paul Pleasure. Coolman and Evans. Coolman trapped it well. Then a little left footer. Too far for McDermott, too far for Ebert. Johnston committed himself courageously. Tapped on cleverly there by Harris. Belton missed it. Hulse comes in quickly. Huppets. Handball to Johnston. Johnston over the top to Porplesia. Porplesia with a shot for goal that's missed. It's a behind. 3-3 to 2-1. A lot of pressure at the moment. Porplesia's point, his first score. And Port Adelaide 8 points in front.
Ray Huppets has certainly started off working very hard this afternoon, showing a little bit of the old dash that we haven't seen from him for a long time, putting in right from the start of the game. A kick out to the half back line, off hands to Lunnis. And here dropping back on the defensive side very well. Hoffner, one of his mercurial dashes into the forward pocket, Evans from the back. And the ball out of bounds as it comes off hands. Barrett not able to keep it in play. Oh, sorry, McFarlane. 3-3 Port Adelaide, 2-1 Glenelg.
Harris and Carey. Carey having a run on the ball. Granger behind the pack. So they've got some strength, Port Adelaide up forward to take these ruck-ins. Carey laid it down to McGuinness. He couldn't get there. Belton got his foot to it and pushed it through for a behind. So Belton's got 1-1. Port 3-4, Glenelg 2-1. Coleman to bang it back in. He'll wait for Carey to get back into position. Screw punt. Lovely kick, Coleman. All in the time. And Carey tried to thump it on. Johnston got it to Bradley. To Kinnear. Kinnear didn't balance up. Quickly to fall forward. Evans timed it pretty well. In fact, it went through his fingers and through for a behind. So Port Adelaide 3-5 to 2-1. Had a few chances, Port. Could be 3 in front at this stage. But they lead by 1-4 as Coleman's about to bring it back in yet again.
Port Adelaide started off with a great rate of knots. Holst getting away from Ebert. Kicking long down to the grandstand side. Marshall just letting the ball come in front. Robertson's right with him. Marshall fighting for the ball. Held in possession. Neither player being able to take advantage there. Good competition between the two players. Robertson not enabling Marshall to get away. Stephen Kernahan, Russell Johnston, Andy Porplesia taking it. To half forward, Corns in front of Giles. All the way by Giles, Corns recovered.
That's Harris, Robert.
Harris, I'm sorry. Off hands from Painter. Knocked out by Porplesia to Granger. Granger with a wobbly kick forward. Picked up by Frost. Belton can't take it. McFarlane over the top. Painter quickly onto his boot. Can't do just that. And it's gone out of bounds yet again. Port 3-5, Glenelg 2-1. 20 minutes in.
Carey and Harris. across the front spot. Falls over, Carey falls on top of him. And instead of a throw-in, we'll have a bounce up. Kernahan and Carey resting in centre half forward. Harrison, Carey again, body against body. Carey perhaps won it. Maynard tried to break one tackle, couldn't. For pleasure to Belton. From Bradley, Belton fell over. 15 metres against Corns. Belton was paid a free kick. I don't think Corns knew about it. And then he tackled Belton, of course, and 15 metres western on the mark. And Belton's almost within kicking distance. He's a very neat kick. Kick 1-1, and I reckon he's going to have a shot.
I think he ducked his head then too. He's a bit lucky to get the free kick for around the neck, Bruce.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there.
Just ducked his head under the tackle. There was nothing wrong with it. He's got a chance though. Not a good kick. Across the face of the goal. Coming from the back, Ross Aegis. He likes to get the run at the ball. He's marked it right in front. It's usually a very good kick for goal too.
20 metres out. Drop punt straight through. So Aegis gets his first today and his first in league football for a long time. And Port Adelaide go to 4-5. The Bays 2-1 after 21 minutes.
There's a stroke of luck for Port Adelaide. They picked up a free kick that perhaps they may not have got. And then kicking it off the edge of his boot, Paul Pilton found Ross Aegis with a run at the ball. He read the ball well. Aegis came from behind, took a well-judged mark, converted for full points, and Port Adelaide has certainly started off playing the game at a much faster rate than Glenelg. Glenelg a little bit slow to start off with. Their reflex and their play not quite as fast as that of Port Adelaide.
Carey and Johnston. Glenelg Rovers between them might have had one kick in the first quarter. McGuinness and also Painter. Johnston winning the rucks. Free kick against Carey. 15 metres against Sewer or Holt. Sewer. Johnston with a boomer. Coleman and Evans. Aegis. Huppets. Belton. Goal. 5-5 to 2-1. Belton's got his second, and the Magpies are running riot at Football Park.
Not a good sign for Glenelg. A couple of careless little things going against them. They're not getting any movement away from the centre. Peter Carey's come onto the ball. Since Stephen Kernahan's gone off, they've not getting the same play. Russell Johnston seems to enjoy Peter Carey and jumping against him than he does against Stephen Kernahan. Johnston and Carey. Carey jumping into it. Ebert takes possession, then loses possession. He's held on to it. Carey recovering. Knocked away by Robertson. Phillips. Well done, Phillips, to Giles. Huppets running on to receive. Corns trying to knock it out. Poor Clecia. Another free kick to Port Adelaide. Poor Clecia to Hoffner. Hoffner high to half forward. McFarlane from behind Granger. Granger just lays him out with the backhander. Lucky he didn't connect properly. John McFarlane. Could have perhaps marked that ball. He judged it much better than David Granger. Out to the centre wing. Carey from the back. Not paid the mark. Duthie. Handle a little bit hard. Painter can't take possession. He'll get the free kick. John Painter. Half-back for Glenelg.
Left foot. I think he's his first kick. Kernahan from the back. Kinnear with a left footer. Weston takes a jugger. Plays on quickly. Huppets was a bit slack there. He didn't get on the mark. It's a poor kick by Weston. That's a magnificent mark. Playing on quickly. Giles. Eckerman providing the run. Aegis. Frost. Aegis tapped it forward. Eckerman's there with him. McGuinness. Eckerman falls over and gets a free kick. That's an unbelievable decision.
It's a free kick against Aegis. He's not entitled to tackle a player like that, even though his teammate's been awarded the free kick.
Well, what about that, Robert? I'm not picking on Eckerman there, but he took the ball and fell over. I suppose players have been getting away with it all year.
The greater pace of McGuinness is what beat him. Coleman, Painter. Chris Nat's come on to replace Russell Johnston. Johnston limping, in fact. Ball kicked out ahead of Michael Farquhar. Way out on the half-forward flank. Go for a bit of distance. It's a long kick. Nat dropping straight back into the goal square. Lunnis interfering with him, hitting him in the face, and he'll get a free kick.
Must have got him in the eye. I think that's in some trouble.
So they're getting some free kicks, Port Adelaide. I think it's because of the rate that they're going at the ball. They're certainly getting there first. John Harvey receiving. Port Adelaide working very hard at the moment. Kick to half back. Off hands to Painter. Long to Kernahan and Phillips. Phillips in the back spot. Well judged mark. Huppers. Hoffner. Eckerman. Even. Port Adelaide building into attack now to half forward. Harris off hands.
Free kick to Maynard. About the same as Eckerman got one for before. Maybe the tackle on Maynard was a little more aggressive. He plays on. Not gaining a lot. He ran sideways, but he'll get it to Carey in the centre. Kinnear coming in very late. 2-1 to 5-5. Painter.
He's cutting that Carey. Mate, he was going to kick it the other way. He knew Painter was out there all the time.
That'll be play on called. Drop punt by Painter. Weston couldn't hold it. Not paid. Eckerman and also Giles on top of Weston, and it'll be a ball up. Port Adelaide have started very well. 5-5 to 2-1. Their approach has been spot on. Nat and Kernahan. Painter getting a few kicks now. A high one. Phillips after it with Giles. Phillips just laid it for Giles beautifully. Giles quickly to Hughes. Port Adelaide are doing it. Hughes with a long drop punt. Harrison calls. Aegis is giving Cross some problems. High one. Evans and Coleman. Coleman in the front spot. McFarlane's making mistakes today. Over the top though, that was very clever. Coleman one bounce, Granger after him, but Coleman's got plenty of time. Didn't get to Carey and tapped on cleverly by Port Adelaide. Up it's to Bradley. Bradley with a drop punt that's going to go through behind as it hits the post. That would have brought the roof down.
Oh, that was a beautiful movement. It was a bad bit of play by Keith Coleman. Why the left footer, I don't know. Running with the ground ahead of him. Then he underkicked it. Coleman to the centre. Laid on by McDermott. Holst gets his foot to it. Port Adelaide plays around like a rash. Holding the ball against Bilton. Too slow then. See, the Port players are certainly to the fore of the football this afternoon. They're out to redeem themselves from last week. The kick by McDermott, he's limping after taking that free kick. Carey with the handball on to Duthie. Duthie's having a bit of trouble picking it up, but he's got plenty of time. He kicks it ahead of Sewer. And Sewer takes the mark. No, he doesn't. Nearly takes. No, he's been paid it. Even though he dropped it. Tony McGuinness. Front position, Parkway. Scored away by Hughes. Now we see Glenelg picking up a free kick that I thought was a very doubtful one. Farquhar backing back into Hughes, and Hughes just putting his fist around him and spoiling it away, and Farquhar gets a free kick.
Farquhar with a chance to put the Bays within some sort of touch just before quarter time. Drop punt, very low, miskicked, and he's rattled the post just like Bradley did. That was a poor kick by Farquhar. Perhaps he didn't deserve any more. So it's 2-2 to 5-6, and Hughes is about to bring it back in. 28 and a half minutes gone. Paul Fleischer providing a lead. Hughes will come out of the grandstand side. It's a long kick. Nat and Carey. Oh, great mark by Carey to Marshall. Marshall's got Lunnis running. Kick by Marshall was in front of Lunnis, but much too far in front of him. And Glenelg playing a bit crisscrossy at the moment, and it'll be a ball in.
Half forward flank. Chris Nat. Stephen Kernahan. Kernahan just knocking it forward. Port Adelaide player falling on top of the ball there. So can't pick out who it is at the moment. Andy Porplesia. Bounce down. Half forward for Glenelg. Nat Kernahan again. Kernahan runs in and runs straight to Nat's arm when he was going for the knot. Coming from half back Giles. It's a long kick. Wind maybe carrying Huppers waiting down. Bad play by Stephen Barrett. Just cost Glenelg a goal. Good bit of roving by Ray Huppers. His first goal. Port Adelaide 6. Their 6 kicks leading Glenelg 2-2.
Yes, Port Adelaide getting tremendous rebound through Giles and Phillips in this quarter, and also Hughes is providing them with some run. That time it was Giles. He banged it into the forward line, and Barrett making an error. Huppers swooping on it. And from centre half forward, Huppert's made no mistake. This has been a big start by Huppert's in comparison to his form in the last 3 weeks. And Port Adelaide lead by 4-4 at the 30-minute mark. 6-6 to 2-2.
Peter Carey and Chris Nat competing for this bounce down. Dead heat. McGuinness into full forward. Ground a little bit slippery. It's been watered a bit today. Weston didn't want to pick it up. Kernahan takes possession, gives the handball forward to Farquhar, gets onto his boot quickly. That's a very good goal by Michael Farquhar, and a much needed one for Glenelg. They're now 3-2, trailing Port Adelaide 6-6.
Yes, with the siren about to go before quarter time, that's a handy one for the Bays to get that back. Weston went to kick it off the ground at centre half forward, and Farquhar received the ball, and his left foot snap was a good one. Now Farquhar would have had 4 or 5 kicks in this quarter. He's only kicked the 1 goal, but that is, I suppose, a good sign for the Bays, and the fact that he's winning the ball.
He's working hard up forward, that's for certain. Peter Carey, Chris Nat. 6-6, 3-2. Port in front. Nat just laying it back towards Robertson. He can't take it. Kicked off the ground by Carey.
McDermott's injured, Rob. He can't raise a gallop.
He's carrying the leg. For certain. Belt. Giles receiving the ball then from Portflesia. Carey dropping back into half-back. Barrett, you're in trouble, Maynard. He just gets it away quickly. Hoffner, he can't take it. Barrett recovering. Oh, keeps his nose right on the ball. That's magnificent football. The kick not quite so good. Harvey, Phillips can't take it. Kernahan can. Siren goes. Port Adelaide have worked very hard in this first quarter. Port leading 6-6-42. Glenelg 3-2-20. Second quarter, Port Adelaide 6-6, leading Glenelg 3-2. Very fast opening by Port Adelaide. Kernahan getting the knock. Knock clear. Kernahan pushing it for McGuinness off the ground. Lunnis first to the ball. Very good take. On his leg to Carey. Phillips intercepting. It's a bad kick by Lunnis. It's that short kick across the ground. The player's got to be 30 yards free before you try that kick. Modern football, a pace of interception, running players. Magnificent advantage kick to Bradley by Phillips. Bradley showing his pace. Kernahan can't catch him. He brings it back to centre half forward. Stephen Barrett takes the safe mark between centre half back and the back pocket.
Simon's on for the Bays. McDermott off. Just chips it away. Barrett finds Maynard. Bradley's playing a very similar game to Clifford has in the last 3 years for Port Adelaide today, that link type of role. Kick into the centre, Simons, drop punt. Farquhar almost took it, used it very well to spoil him, then couldn't quite recover. Farquhar almost to Lunnis, it won't quite sit for him. Hoffner off the ground, hits the goal post, so it's a behind. 6-6 to 3-3.
There's a magnificent spoil there by Danny Hughes-Bruce. Lovely pass. Hughes brings the ball back in. Off hands from Duthie. Giles can't take possession. Bounce down at half forward.
Half forward flank. Bays need a couple of quick ones. It'll be Carey and Johnston. Carey stands his ground. Lays it to Simons. Simons tries to keep it in front of himself. McGuinness tackled quickly. Belton. Johnston. Wobbly screw punt. Granger almost. Corns McFarlane. McFarlane gets rattled a bit today. Had a lot of time then, McFarlane. Got rid of it in a hurry. And goes to the coach's bench to tell them something. Kernahan. Johnston. Pretty even duel with these two. Johnston's beaten Carey. That's Duthie. He'll get a free kick against Kinnear. And then Kinnear just pushes him in the back and gets 15 metres away.
That's stupid by Kim Kinnear. I don't know what he did that for.
I think he was upset. Duthie with a long one. Farquhar with a fly. Carey the front spot. Lunnis with a run of it. Harvey kept his cool. Then got it to Robertson. Robertson wobbles it to the outer side. Aegis. Holst. Handball by Aegis to Eckerman. Eckerman with a drop punt. Weston there also, Maynard. That's a splendid mark by Maynard on the centre wing.
Maynard's just holding the ball up. Gives it to David Marshall. He comes across the ground. Chance here for Port Adelaide if they can spoil it forward. Duthie comes in though. Kernahan hits the panic button. Just kicks it 10-metre dribble to Johnston. Johnston can't find the body with the handball. Finally it runs on. Granger just knocking it out. Boothie recovering. McFarlane. Simons. He knows where he's going. Just kicks the ball to Weston. Long handball forward. Well done. Hoffner got back to McGuinness. Realised that the play was on. Danny Hughes. Rebounding for Port Adelaide. Only as far as Kernahan. Maynard. Carey can't quite keep possession. Good mark. Farquhar to McGuinness. Gee, that was a danger. That was handball distance.
Too far out to goal, McGuinness. He's got Weston and centre half forward, but that lead covered. Hoffner's play moments ago was outstanding.
Well, Farquhar turned around and read now. He can just kick it straight to him.
Screw punt, didn't get onto it. Farquhar's
anyway.
got it.
No.
Over the back, Johnston. Eckerman. Painter with him. Eckerman played it across towards the big fellow in Robertson. Robertson took a chance. Finally got it to Eckerman. He did that well, Robertson. Eckerman's drop punt pass spot on to Belton. Belton went to play it on, had no one to give it to. Then has to run the ball virtually to Kinnear. One bounce. Left foot high. Coleman and Evans. Coleman the front spot. Aegis gives it across to Kinnear. Kinnear towards full forward. McFarlane against Granger, and there'll be a ball in. So Port Adelaide have taken it from the back pocket to the forward pocket within about 30 seconds.
Yes, there's a throw out the other side in a bit of trouble. Maynard giving all sorts of signals there for some unknown reason. I don't know what they were. Throw in. Kernahan knocking it towards the boundary line. Granger just runs past the ball straight into Maynard, and it's out of bounds. 6-6 Port Adelaide, 3-3 Glenelg. Very slow start to the second quarter. 5 minutes and only a point scored. Over the back, given away to Weston, and Weston's boomed the ball 80 metres if it went an inch. Off hands from Phillips. With a dash now by Hoffner. That's what he loves doing. Beautiful kick into the full forward area. Coleman coming out, spoils it forward. Harris, Hoffner, Hill, changes his pace, then goes back to Aegis. Aegis kicks the goal. Well done, Port Adelaide, well done, Paul Belton. Port Adelaide 7-6, Glenelg 3-3.
Aegis has got two. Hoffner played a big part in that goal. Twice he brought the ball out of defence. The second time he held his leg up. And the kick to Belton wasn't all that good, but it was effective. And Belton, of course, getting it to Aegis. And Aegis, who's a sharp shooter from any angle, straight in front, and through it went. Bay's in trouble, Robert. A few players have panicked today when they've got the ball for no real reason. Port Adelaide players haven't been near them.
Not doing much up forward, Bruce. Ralph Sewer's got to lift his game a bit and start getting near it. Speak of the devil, he's immediately got the kick. He hasn't found the body again. Anywhere's good enough, and it's not good enough. Kernahan can't take it. He finally taps it to Holst. Painter. Full forward, Farquhar and Hughes. Hughes will spoil. Phillips dropping back quickly to the front spot. Kicking it wide to the outer side. Well judged mark out there by Bradley. Putting the ball on his body. If he'd have taken it in his hands, would have been knocked away by Maynard. Very well judged indeed. Craig Bradley. To Weston. He falls over. Can't quite get to the ball. It's out of bounds. Half forward flank. Port Adelaide attacking southern end.
Kernahan and Harris. Painter roving for the bays. Kernahan laid it down to Painter. Painter tried to break through. He couldn't. Maynard put his head over the top of it. Well, Pleasure puts a tackle on him and again it brought up. So since quarter time, a goal to Port, a behind to the bays. Again, Harris and Kernahan. Harris won it clearly, only as far as Maynard. He ducked his head, but he'll get a free kick.
That's consistency. The Port players no good than complaining, because that's exactly the free kick that Paul Belton got in the first quarter. Russell Leavitt not happy. It's no good in complaining, because that's exactly what happened in the first. If the umpires are consistent, then they'll all be ducking heads for the rest of the day. If they get a belt in the chops, they've got nothing to complain about. Ray Huppert's off hands. Half forward. Corns fisting away. Free kick. That's consistency. That's the second time that three has been paid today. Ben Harris. Forward pocket. Evans. Coleman. just conceding ground. I don't know why he's not confident to go for the ball, Bruce. He was in front spot and he didn't go for the ball.
Evans has got 2 so far today. If he kicks this, it's going to be very hard for the Bays to get back even at this early stage. Port Adelaide taking the game by the scruff of its neck. Evans has missed it though. Port should be further in front at 7-7 to 3-3. They've had a lot of chances. Tim Evans, 2 goals, 1. Keith Coolman has a problem today. Carey's going to give Frost the lead. Frost ignores it, goes straight to Kernahan. Johnston in the front spot, that's a great mark. Plays on quickly. High drop punt. Evans and Coolman again. Evans in the front spot. Juggles it twice. Granger comes in desperately. Evans with a snap. Behind. Not a bad kick. Touched off the boot by Corns. And so it's 7-8 to 3-3. 2-2 to Evans.
That certainly was a good kick. He got that ball to bend then. Put a bit of a banana on it as she went around.
Good goal shot, Robert.
It was. One of mine. Sideways. Long kick again by Coolman. Carey just knocking it on. Robertson traps the ball. Huppers made an excellent game. Went for that short kick. Cleared away by Glenelg. Only as far as Kinnear. Gee, they're playing confident now, Port. That was a very good take by Kinnear. And Frost spoiling forward. Giles can't get it. Hit forward by Aegis. Frost can't pick it up. Finally, Port Adelaide kick clear to Huppets. And Huppets plays on and misses. Gee, he didn't have to play on. If the umpire had judged that to be less than 10 metres, I think Ray Huppets would have been very unfortunate. It was certainly a mark. 7-9 Port Adelaide, 3-3 Glenelg.
Frost, no, Coolman it is. He'll boom a screw punt. Let's see if he times it. To the square, Carey, Johnston, Duthie. Duthie's ball handling's been disappointing today. And again a ball up. Duthie, obviously they read him as being out of form because he was dropped before today and he got in because Hine couldn't play. So Carey and Johnston. Carey did that well to Painter. Painter looked for a handball, then had time to float one. Kernahan and Phillips. Lunnis, also Giles. Phillips is really playing well at centre-half back after a quiet first 5 minutes. Marshall and Robertson. Robertson playing a defending role on Marshall and it's working at the moment. McGuinness keeping it in play. He's out of touch as well. Obviously out of bounds. And the ball in.
Tony McGuinness still tapping that ball on. He's the last few times I've seen him. He's lost that sharp form where taking possession, he's still knocking it away. Holt's getting the uncontested throw in. Ralph Sewer, long to the goal square, and fisted through for a behind for Glenelg. They're now 3 goals 4, trailing Port Adelaide 7-9. Makes one wonder about the wisdom of resting the rucks at centre-half back because the recovery of the 2 big fellows when they come off the ball is just not quick enough on Greg Phillips. He's getting back to every ball. If he doesn't mark it, he's back there after it quick as a flash. Even giving a lead. Ball's over the top of Kernahan. Phillips has got it. Out of bounds centre wing. 11.5 minutes into the second quarter. Port Adelaide 7-9, Glenelg 3-4.
The other thing too, Robert, Phillips of course is a very busy player and he's making Carey and Kernahan work so hard at centre-half forward that they're not getting a rest at all. So the Bays have got problems there. Johnston in the front spot, Carey over the back, Portplesia, Kinnear, Huppets and Johnston. Johnston playing a big game. They just use the body nicely against Frost and it'll be a ball in again.
Yes, maybe John Howard can shift Michael Farquhar out to centre-half forward. But obviously the Glenelg selectors are pretty keen to play the big fellows there at centre-half forward in the finals. And they're having a look at Farquhar this afternoon at full forward. Carey. Holst. Slow. Frost. McGuinness. Duthie. Into the pocket. Lunnis in the front position. Harvey's balls it away. Taken by Hughes. Hughes to Phillips. The kick's slewed off the edge of his boot and out of bounds.
Duthie from the centre wing. Bays having tremendous problems scoring. High drop punt, the centre half forward. Kernahan on a lead. Almost a good grab. Weston stayed down. Left foot by Weston at the goal square. Farquhar and also Hughes. And it'll be a ball in. See, Weston there, Robert, had time to run 5 metres and kick a goal there, but Whether there's no talking or not, I'm not sure, but he quickly jammed it onto the left boot.
There's no need to talk, Bruce. He should have the feel that he's free, particularly a player with his ability and experience under his belt.
Johnston, Kernahan, Painter with a snap. It's going to go through. That's a big goal to the Bays. Painter quickly onto his boot after Kernahan laid it down to him. And John Painter gets his first, and Glenelg get a little closer at 4-4 to Port Adelaide 7-9.
You certainly don't see any better than that, Bruce. That's how they say you should do it in the books. Stephen Kernahan flying up and just laying that ball down to John Painter, and John Painter with a safe pair of hands, grabbing it with a vice-like grip and a controlled kick for Glenelg's fourth.
4-4 to 7-9. McDermott on the sideline trying to get back into the game, warming up. Left foot by Farquhar, I think, having a run. Yes, Weston's gone to full forward for the moment. Lannis with a run of it. Lannis not doing particularly well on that occasion, and it'll be a ball in. So Weston's gone to full forward. Farquhar having a run. The Bays, after 14 minutes of the second quarter, trail by 3-5. It's Johnston. Phillips laying it back over the top towards Hoffner. Hoffner just back to Porplesia. Lannis going up and down in the one spot. Porplesia. Harris. Carey. Holst. Great tackle. Lucky.
I think that was a fair enough decision.
Gee, I don't, Robert.
He grabbed him before he took it. He only had just got it in his fingers and he pulled him off the ball.
Kick by Holst. Kernahan almost. He should have got a free kick. A right footer by Phillips. Trapped by Duthie. That was Phillips' 10th. Bad handball by Duthie. McGuinness had to go back. Phillips with the left footer into the centre.
Maynard can't take possession. A bit of congestion here. Farland falls over. Corns takes it. Played a good game at centre half back. Handball not away. Barrett knocking it forward. Hufford, who's playing a very good game this afternoon. Gives it to Belton. Got Aegis on his own in the pocket. Goes for that short kick. Ounce of luck. Worth a ton of judgment. Comes back into the centre of the ground to David Granger. Finally sees Bradley and gives it to Bradley. It's a very good kick. Player penalised there. I don't think that he really did run. He ran across the front and he just put his hands up. He did not run into Craig Bradley then, that Glenelg player. That's very unfortunate. Bradley, in fact, pushed him out of the road with both hands.
Bradley from 30 metres out. Kicked one behind so far today. A lot of goals in his short career. Drop punt straight through. So Port Adelaide get that goal back quickly. Bradley's got his first. And Port Adelaide are 8-9 to 4-4. John Halbert, there's stayed on the bench for the Bays, and they've got some problems.
Consider relaxing of that decision over the last few years with players running other players in the front, and on that occasion I would have thought was the least offensive that I've seen for many, many moves. Peter Carey, Russell Johnston. Johnston up high, lays it to Even. He can't get it to his boot. Duthie picks it up. He's going to lob in the space out at centre wing. Where she bounces, nobody knows. Towards David Marshall. He kicks it off the ground. Ivan Eckerman reading it best. Just handballs it forward towards the boundary line. Painter trapping the ball. Eckerman equal to the occasion then. Just getting back on it, putting his hand on it and holding the ball in the area. Giving Port Adelaide another chance. Johnston and Kernahan. No one can take possession. Free kick here to Glenelg. Be taken by David Marshall. Chris McDermott looks as though he's going to come back on in a moment. He's standing near the interchange line. Carey at centre half forward. Hoffner coming across. Lannis gives it to Weston. Weston quickly onto the boot. Painter in front. Eckerman spoiling away. McInnes running in. Turns onto his right foot on this occasion. Get high into the air and out of bounds on the foot.
McInnes out of touch. Could have come around onto his left foot there. He had the time. McDermott will come on in a moment for the Bays. They've got a lot of problems up forward. Sewer can't buy a kick. Lannis not getting one. Simons has made no impression. So they've got big problems. Being beaten at centre half forward too. Farquhar with a fly. Robertson tapped it forward. Holst has probably had more touches than he. Beautifully done by Robertson. Holst got it back though. And then he floats a high one. Sewer takes a fly. Little left footer by Farquhar into a space. Hoffner. Weston. Free kick there will go against the Bays.
Only player to keep his feet was Paul Weston. The other two players diving on the ball. I think modern football, you run fast and learn to be a diver. Peter Hoffner out in front of Ivan Eckerman. He hasn't got much to kick to. He has to handball to Huppets. They've got to hang on to the ball for a second. There's a lot of players back. High tackle there. Free kick to Huppets. Simon's over the mark. Huppets just holding it up for a moment. Good kick. He kicked it straight to Ralph Sewer. I don't know what he was about then. Certainly poor judgment. Dermot on. Lannis off. Sewer's just returning the compliment. He kicks it straight to Danny Hughes. Western standing his own about 20 metres in front. Hughes to Hoffner. Hoffner now on a rebound for Port Adelaide. It's the second time this quarter he's bolted. Kicked it to the other side of the square. Spoiled forward by Ben Harris. Bradley. Nice prop, but he slipped a little bit. Corns has got him. Ebert running on. Well done, Russell Ebert. He's straightened up. Runs onto his left foot at the last second. Coleman in front. This time he keeps his feet and goes for the ball. Maybe that's a sign for better things to come. It's the first time for the day that he's done that.
From full-back, drop punt. That's a good kick because Corn should take that comfortably to McGuinness. Now he can run a bit. One bounce. Then onto his right foot. Why, I'll never know. And he'll kick it straight to Eckerman.
Yes, the more I see him play, the less I'm feeling about Tony at the moment. He's lost a lot of that sharpness and that form, that decisiveness in what he's doing. Kick to the outer side. Farquhar having a run on the ball. Named at full forward. Flies off Painter's arm. He has a bit of luck. It comes back to him. Kicks it across the centre of the ground. Short kick again. Carey knocking it forward to McDermott. All he's got to do is kick it straight, but he can't. Just misses. Behind to Chris McDermott. Glenelg 4-5. Trailing Port Adelaide 8-9.
Port have kicked 2-3 to 1-3 in this quarter, so it's been a more even term, but the Bays have got the breeze behind them. There's no doubt about that. There's a little bit in it, not much, but it's a goal or two, one would think, or probably 5 metres on the kick. Hughes with a drop punt. Johnston and Kernahan. Oh, nearly a great leap, nearly a great mark. He laid it off to Duthie, then won it back Kernahan, then legged, and he'll take a free kick.
Geez, good work of Stephen Kernahan.
Glenelg kicking across the ground on a number of occasions. Kernahan from 50 metres out, 60 maybe, too far to kick a goal, you'd think. Screw punt is a boomer. It's going on and on and on. It's going to go through. What a magnificent goal. That might be just what the Bays wanted. Kernahan's got his first and the Bays get a bit closer at 5-5 to 8-9.
Well, if ever a goal can lift a side, that certainly can. Put his foot right through that ball. Kicking it with a screw punt. And Stephen Kernahan, he's worked very hard. He's a top ruckman, and the Bays have got a top man in Kernahan. It's a matter of a few of the other players just working hard to see whether they can't keep up with this game and get a little bit going back in Glenelg's favour. Painter knocking it forward to Ebert only. Ebert wide to the wing. Lucky bounce here from McFarlane. He can't pick it up, but he's working at it. He's tripped. No free kick. Duthie to Holst. Now Glenelg starting to run at the ball a bit. Farquhar with an easy mark here. Carey puts his hands up in his road. He gives it out to McGuinness. He's on his left foot. Round his body, through from behind. That's bad play by Peter Carey. Although he wasn't to know, I must admit, who was behind him. Like it could have been anyone calling him in or out of the play. 5-6 Glenelg, 8-9 to Port Adelaide.
Hughes to Huppets. The Bays had a golden opportunity there. Huppets will chip it to Giles. Giles takes a falling mark. Gives them tremendous rebound. Giles was Port Adelaide's best player in last week's loss. High kick to the centre wing. Corns takes off early. He's one centre half back. Harris did that well though. To Bradley. Bradley's having a lot of kicks. Left foot. Great pass to Aegis on the run. Aegis in the pocket. He's given Port Adelaide a bit today. That's high. Evans and Coleman. Granger from the back. Painter. Handball not good by Painter. Frost back to Painter. I've got the feeling the Bays are getting some confidence though, Robert.
They're starting to run, Bruce.
Sewer with a high one.
Two Port Adelaide players up. Knocked away by Harvey. That was well done. Huppets moving in quickly. Well done, Ray Huppets. He's run a long way, but the umpire's given him a free and then allowed him to play on. He's kicked it out to the wing. Marshall gets the deflecting ball off hands. Punches it into Tony McGuinness. And he's got the free kick. Ball starting to move now. It's starting to be a real top-rate game. Glenelg starting to lift their talents a little to match the earlier pace of the Port Adelaide game.
There's no doubt the game has evened up since quarter time, and the Bays are in with a definite chance now. They've stopped Port Adelaide's big run. Drop punt by McGuinness is a very long kick. just missing and behind. So 5-7 to 8-9. The Bays have had some chances in this term. 3 points to McGuinness, and Hughes will just pop it up and give it to Eckerman.
Eckerman on the grandstand side. Port kicking into a slight breeze. All holding up into it. Granger for the front spot. He's played on, just runs across. Bradley's tackled by McFarlane. Gives it back to Granger. Granger high, Cause with the run in. Bad play, Graham Cause. Bit lucky that the front player wasn't paid the mark. Huppert's running on to receive. Into the pocket ahead of Evans. A just gives it across to him. Well done. Huppert's kicking in towards Kernahan and Ben Harris. And Harris takes the ball.
Huppert's playing well, Robert. He's probably had more kicks than any of the other overs. He's had 11 kicks so far.
I think he's worked very well. He's worked hard too. Put himself in the right spot to get a kick. Harris, a long, strong kick. And it's a goal. Port Adelaide's 9. They're 9-9. Glenelg 5-7.
Harris with one. Yeah, Huppert's working particularly hard today. He's had 11 kicks up until this stage of the game. We're about to enter the time-on period of the second quarter. But still, the Bays are hanging in there. Next 5 minutes very important. If Glenelg can kick one or two, they'll be within some touch. If Port, of course, can get the next one, then the Bays are going to be a long way behind at half-time. Sewell went without it. Ebert smothered by Weston. And there'll be a ball up.
Glenelg changing Weston and Farquhar at full forward as run-on players.
Weston having a quiet one, Robert.
Off Nat's hands. Ebert just handballs it out. McGuinness doesn't take possession again in the pack. Bradley falling across the front. McGuinness picks it up. That's better play, Tony McGuinness. That's like a rover should play. Weston forcing it. It's floating. Off hands for a behind. Another rush one to Glenelg. 5-8. 9-9 Port Adelaide.
Herco getting ready to come on. Hughes, Duthie, Robertson and Belton. Robertson just stood his ground. Duthie giving away what might have been a 15-metre. Robertson's got to come back. Duthie did that for a reason because Belton was running past. The Bays are getting caught out a bit from these kick-ins.
It's hard to tell whether the player lets that ball go or whether it really knocks it out of his hands. I don't think he knocked it hard enough. He'd had a decent grip on it. Bad kick by Robertson.
Yeah, Robertson's skills are down at times. He's a very awkward player, but John Cale obviously believes he's effective. It's Carey and Nat. Carey won at the Western. Western getting some kicks now to the pocket. Simons and Harvey. Almost on the half volley, Simons. Harvey over the top, and it'll be a ball in. Into time on. McDermott again coming off. He must be a disappointed young man. Herco coming on.
This is the move I thought they might have made earlier. I think you put Herco into full forward. Big Farquhar out on the ball, or even the centre half forward.
McGuinness, Weston, judge the throw.
Gee, a bit unfortunate.
Umpire was in a good position, but like you, I thought he probably got his arm to it.
He certainly hit it.
His fist to it. Robertson with a floater. Carey judged it beautifully. Played it onto Weston. Weston with a high one. Herco's just come on. Kernahan underneath it. Hughes goes for the spoil. No Glenelg players there. Hoffner sits on it to Robertson, who goes without it. McGuinness. Robertson kept his head down. Nat pulled in.
He's done some good things, Robertson. Really has competed, and when he's been 1 against 2 and he's held the ball in the area, really fought hard. Carey in the front spot. Get a free kick. Too tall for Chris Nat. Short kick straight to the opposition. Tony Giles. Cross to the centre. Ross Aegis in front. David Marshall chipping in. Ball definitely holding up a little bit into that breeze, Bruce.
Yeah, there's something in it, Robert. The Bays haven't taken advantage of it.
Half forward. Herco in front. Bit of body strength up there. High by Painter. Long, not straight. That's John Painter's second score. He's kicked 1 goal, 1. Glenelg are now 5-9 to 9-9 by Port Adelaide. There's not much in it. It's only 4 kicks. Glenelg need to get a goal off this rebound if they possibly can, as Greg Phillips goes to the outer side. Herco out there with Danny Hughes. Hughes gives it across to Bradley. Bradley back to Hughes. To half forward. Just lets the ball run past him. Corns. Frost. Out of bounds.
Free kick to Kinnear. Just pushed Robert as it was going out. McKinney hasn't had a lot of touches. To centre half forward. Front spot Ranger. Harris. He's only got a chip to Evans. Evans underneath it. And Evans runs and kicks his third just before half-time. Loose by the Bays. 10-9 to 5-9. And it's going to be very hard for them to get back from there.
Glenelg rushed Keith Coolman back into the side today in the belief that he'd hold Tim Evans. But Tim's outpointing him in his positioning for the ball in every aspect. It's only a matter of Port Adelaide getting it up there often enough, and I think Tim's going to get a bit of a bag. He's kicked 3 till half-time. Who knows, he might even get another one if they can get it up there.
28 and a half minutes gone, 10-9 to 5-9. Port had withstood the challenge from Glenelg and kicked the last 2 goals just before half-time. Carey maybe just won it. Bradley, handball to Belton. Belton's handball to Ebert. Ebert quickly to the goal front. Evans almost on the half volley. Frost should bring it out to the grandstand side. He's a lovely kick. Duthie and Robertson, 2 very tall wingmen. Duthie couldn't quite hold it. And as a siren sounds, half-time at Football Park. Port Adelaide 5 goals in front. 10-9 to 5-9. Kernahan and Johnston. Johnston won it. McGuinness with a right footer. Underneath it, Giles punches it away from Sewer. Now Sewer had a very quiet first half. Giles to Phillips, to Bradley, who's a big kick getter today. Corns and Harris. Corns has got his knee strapped. He didn't have that before half-time. Maynard to Corns to Maynard. To Marshall. To Weston. Weston tackled. Fell over. Can't get rid of him. He's going to be pinked for holding the ball.
Quite right. Trying to get rid of the ball at all, just dragging under him. Robertson from centre wing. Magnificent kick right into the goal square. Coolman from the front position, spoiling away. Just knocked out of bounds by Maynard between half forward and the forward pocket for Port Adelaide. Port kicking with the aid of a slight breeze, and they've got a 5-goal advantage. Everything in their favour at the moment. They've earned it too. Good lead.